Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Coming off an 11-win season in 2023, the Miami Dolphins were the darlings of off-season chatter. Expectations were sky-high. Everyone thought 2024 would be the year. Mike McDaniel had a dynamic offense, a defense on the rise, and a quarterback into a Tagovailoa coming into his own. The energy in Miami was electric. Fans, analysts, and even rival players felt the Dolphins were poised to dominate the AFC East, but what unfolded was, frankly, a letdown. Miami stumbled to an 8-9 finish, missing the playoffs entirely, just like that. The buzz turned into silence. Questions started to swirl. What went wrong? Was the team overhyped? Were they simply outplayed? But then, one voice pierced through the fog of off-season excuses. That voice came from someone who wasn't even on the field in 2024. But his words hit harder than any sack. Bradley Chubb. Now, Chubb didn't play a single down in 2024 due to a brutal lower body injury. But that didn't stop the Pro Bowl edge rusher from giving a raw, honest take on what really happened with the Dolphins last season. And man, he didn't hold back. In a recent interview, Chubb said point blank, "Last year, we were lying, not sugarcoating it, not blaming injuries or schemes, just straight up calling it how he saw it." That kind of brutal honesty, it's rare in today's NFL, and it makes you pay attention. He elaborated, saying, "We put our toe in the water, but we didn't dive all the way in." Let that sink in. For a team with playoff talent and Super Bowl hopes, they weren't fully committed. They were talking the talk, but not walking the walk. That's a heavy truth and one that speaks volumes. Chubb's comments shine a spotlight, not just on performance, but on culture. It's easy to throw blame at play calling or roster depth. But what he's talking about goes deeper. He's talking about mindset, brotherhood, accountability. That extra mile that great teams run not just on Sundays, but every single day of the week. And when a guy like Chubb says it, you listen, because this isn't some bench warmer venting frustrations. This is a former top 5 pick, a 2-time Pro Bowler, a locker room leader. And while he was sidelined last year, you can bet he saw everything. The body language, the missed details, the lack of urgency sometimes. The guy watching from the outside sees the clearest picture. And what Chubb saw in 2024 was a team going through the motions. Of course, when a guy throws a statement like that into the world, it raises another question. What's different now? And Chubb had an answer for that too. This year, we're doing that, he said. That's the key. Not just calling out the past, but stepping into a better future. He's not here to throw darts. He's here to lead change. Chubb is already back at work, grinding at practice, chasing perfection, and showing his teammates what it means to dive all the way in. And guess what? It's showing. He recently earned the orange jersey in practice, a small but meaningful symbol of standout performance in Miami's training system. And for Chubb, that recognition was more than just a color. It was confirmation that he's back and locked in. It was dope. Chubb said when asked about the moment, "Just to see all the work come to light, that's a man who's been through the grind. Rehab isn't glamorous. It's lonely, painful, and mentally exhausting." But Chubb didn't let the injury define him. Instead, he let it refocus him. He knows there's still work to be done. He even said as much. "Still got a long way to go in terms of perfecting my craft," he admitted. But the energy is different now. You can hear it in his voice. There's hunger, there's ownership, and most of all, there's belief, not just in himself, but in the team around him. That's the shift that Miami desperately needs. Let's not forget who we're talking about here. Bradley Chubb isn't just some hype guy. He's got a resume that commands respect. Drafted 5th overall by the Denver Broncos in 2018, Chubb exploded onto the scene with a 12-sack rookie season. Injuries slowed him down in the following years, but the talent never faded. In his NFL career so far, he's notched 39.5 sacks, 157 solo tackles, 13 forced fumbles, and 90 quarterback hits across 73 games. Those are real numbers, numbers that impact games. And when healthy, Chubb is one of the most dangerous edge rushers in the league. That's exactly what Miami was missing last year, a defensive force that sets the tone and brings fire to every snap. The Dolphins' defense in 2024, let's be real, it was soft. Ranked 27th in the league in sack rate at just 5.77%. That's not going to cut it in a division with Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers slinging the rock. You can't let elite quarterbacks sit comfortably in the pocket. And without Chubb, Miami just couldn't generate consistent pressure. It's no wonder the secondary struggled and the defense overall fell flat. Chubb brings more than just stats, he brings disruption. He forces offenses to adjust. He creates chaos, and he elevates the guys around him. If the Dolphins are serious about getting back to playoff contention, getting Chubb healthy and hungry again is absolutely critical. But beyond the X's and O's, Chubb's return is about something bigger: mentality. His candid words about 2024 weren't meant to embarrass his team. They were meant to wake them up, a call to action. Because he knows what this team can be. He's seen the flashes. And now, he wants to be the spark that ignites a full-on fire. It's not just about bouncing back from injury for him, it's about changing the culture. And if you ask any great franchise, that's where the real transformation starts. Not with a flashy playbook or a splashy signing, but with guys who hold everyone, starting with themselves, accountable. So now the question becomes, will the rest of the Dolphins follow Chubb's lead? Will they buy in, not just with words but with action? The AFC is brutal. There's no room for half measures. If Miami wants to prove that 2023 wasn't a fluke and that 2024 was just a misstep, it starts now, with the grind, with leadership, with honesty, and Chubb is setting that tone loud and clear. His voice matters. His presence matters. And if the rest of the locker room catches his fire, the Dolphins could become one of the most dangerous bounce-back stories in the league next season. In the end, Bradley Chubb isn't just preparing for a comeback, he's preparing to rewrite the narrative. For himself, for his team, for a franchise that's been stuck in the almost category for far too long. He's not selling dreams or hyping false hope. He's demanding real change and putting in the work to make it happen. That kind of mindset is contagious, and if Miami listens, if they match his intensity, 2025 could be the year everything finally clicks. Not because of flashy headlines, but because of hard truth, hard work, and a relentless drive to be great. And that, Dolphins fans, might be exactly what this team needs. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments, what's your take on the Fins this week? It started with a subtle move, one that could have easily gone unnoticed by the casual fan. But in the digital age, where athletes' social media profiles are watched like hawks, nothing gets past a dedicated fan base. On a quiet evening, TYREEK Hill, the Miami Dolphins star wide receiver and one of the NFL's most electrifying players, wiped his Instagram clean of every photo showing him in a Dolphins jersey. That's right, every single one. No aqua, no orange, no fins up, just a collection of personal photos, lifestyle shots, and vague captions. And just like that, a storm of speculation exploded online. Is he leaving? Is there beef with the team? Or is it just a marketing stunt? No one knows for sure. But one thing is certain, Dolphins Nation is officially in panic mode. And this story is only just beginning to heat up. For a player as high profile and media savvy as TYREEK Hill, this kind of move doesn't happen by accident. This isn't a rookie wideout having a moment of frustration, or a low-profile player making noise for clout. Hill is a veteran, a Pro Bowler, a household name. Every move he makes is calculated. So when fans noticed that his entire Dolphins history had vanished from his Instagram grid, alarms went off. Within minutes, Twitter, or should we say, X, was flooded with screenshots, conspiracy theories, and anxious pleas. Some fans begged him to clarify, others braced for a trade announcement, a few, perhaps trying to keep their sanity, dismissed it as off-season antics. But in Miami, where the Super Bowl dreams rest heavily on Hill's speed and explosiveness, this felt like a gut punch. What makes the situation even more tense is the timing. We're in that eerie NFL limbo just after OTA letters, just before training camp, where players are relatively quiet and front offices are grinding in the background. Rumors tend to bubble up during this window, but rarely with this level of drama. Sources close to the Dolphins say everything appeared fine internally. Hill was showing up, training, cracking jokes with Tua, no public signs of discord. But in today's league, the real drama often plays out behind the scenes and on social media. Could this be the first hint that something went wrong during contract talks, or maybe a breakdown in the locker room culture? It's all speculation for now. But with Hill, silence speaks volumes. Some fans are pointing to his recent comments and interviews as possible breadcrumbs. Just last month, Hill hinted at wanting control of his own narrative and being more than just a player. At the time, it felt like standard brand building talk. He's launched a podcast, dabbled in esports, and always maintained a larger-than-football persona. But looking back, were those comments a soft launch for a bigger decision? If Hill is setting the stage for a dramatic exit from Miami. Wiping his social media is a classic first step. We've seen this playbook before, from Odell Beckham Jr. to Stefon Diggs. Clean the timeline. Let the rumors fly. Watch the media do the rest. The Dolphins front office has yet to release a statement, which only adds fuel to the fire. In a league where perception often shapes reality, staying silent can sometimes be interpreted as damage control. And let's not forget, Miami made a massive investment to bring Hill over from Kansas City. They paid him like a superstar, built their offense around his skill set, and paired him with a quarterback in Tagovailoa, who clearly thrives when Hill is on the field. So, if there's even a whisper of discontent, the franchise has a lot riding on getting ahead of it. But so far, crickets, and that's making fans even more nervous. There's also the possibility that this is a leverage play. Hill is a savvy businessman. He knows his value not just as a player, but as a brand. Maybe there's a renegotiation happening behind closed doors. Maybe he wants guarantees. Or maybe he's eyeing a different role within the organization, one that goes beyond the field. In today's NFL, players are increasingly thinking about legacy, influence, and life after football. Could Hill be making a statement without saying a word? Could this be about respect, power, or positioning for something bigger? It wouldn't be the first time a player has used social media to drive the narrative. On the flip side, some argue that this might be absolutely nothing. Social media detoxes are trendy. Athletes rebrand all the time. Maybe Hill's team is preparing a new campaign, a new look, or even a new YouTube series. It wouldn't be shocking for a player of his profile to reset his digital footprint for a rollout. Still, the timing is odd. Why now, when the Dolphins are entering what many believe could be a defining season? Why stir up uncertainty when chemistry is everything? Even if this is just a rebrand, it's one that's caused major waves and perhaps unnecessarily so. Fans have taken the investigation into their own hands, dissecting every like, unfollow, and deleted post. Did he unfollow the Dolphins' official account? No, not yet. Is he still engaging with teammates online? Some say yes, but the tone has shifted. It's become a full-blown digital crime scene, with fans playing detective in real time. Reddit threads are growing by the minute. Dolphins blogs are scrambling for insider scoops. Everyone's waiting for the next move, the next post, the next quote that might confirm or deny the growing fears. It's wild how one player can send an entire fanbase into chaos with a few taps on a screen. And then there's the wild card factor. What if another team is circling? There are always franchises lurking in the shadows, ready to pounce on signs of discord. The Patriots need a WR1. The Ravens are always in the mix, even the Chiefs, yes. The same team that let him go could be interested in a reunion if the terms are right. Is it too soon to imagine Hill in a different uniform? Maybe. But we've learned never to say never in this league. Players change teams, loyalties shift, and the NFL offseason thrives on unpredictability. Hill's Instagram move might just be the opening act of a much bigger drama. At the end of the day, TYREEK Hill owes no one an explanation, not yet, at least. But in the era of brand management and digital footprints, every action tells a story. Right now, the story being written is one of mystery, anxiety, and endless possibilities. Is he sending a message, making a statement, or just cleaning house for a new chapter? We don't have the answers yet. But one thing is clear, the Miami Dolphins 2025 season just got a whole lot more interesting. And it hasn't even started. Keep your eyes on TYREEK's next move, because whatever it is, you can bet the whole NFL will be watching. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!